Today's Wednesday, April 24th, 2014. You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show. The Elevator Radio Show is a proud supporter of the Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation. To find out how you can make a difference, visit their website today at www.eesf.org. Hey everybody, have a good show for you today, but it is short and sweet like last week, so stay tuned. Here it comes.
You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listened, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, like your safety messages, Tom, it's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds,
when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway?
Ron from California sent this in. Despite your inability to pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this service to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Seibert.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. It is good to be here this Wednesday morning. Please bear with me. Thank you. Hey, how many of you out there have ever done a computer update right before something like important, perhaps a conference call or a meeting or something like that? Yeah. Well, I seem to have done that this morning to the software that I used to record the program, and that was a big mistake because it basically took all of my settings for what I've been doing in the last, year since I got the new computer. Actually, not a year. It's less than that. Actually, since probably December when I came back after my surgery. Anyway, so all my settings were gone. So here I am, ready to do the show, and also, I'll just update the software, blah, blah, blah. I go back, I'm like, nothing's working. Nothing is working at all. So, oh my goodness. So I was like this close. I was about 2 minutes close enough to saying, okay, forget this. I cannot get this to work. It's going to take me another 4 hours to figure out how to get this going. So, but thankfully, I was able to find the settings that I used last time, which I am going to screen capture and save. So, in case this happens again, I don't have to deal with this. Man, very frustrating. I'm telling you. I wish life in computers and software and all that were much easier to deal with, but not always the case. Hey, it is great to be here this Wednesday morning where I hope all of you had a wonderful Easter over the weekend and had some great weather here in Chicago. Also, unfortunately, the cold weather has seemed to have returned. So anyway, but that's what you're gonna deal with in the springtime. And April is not a month that is necessarily going to be warm. Neither is May. So as I remind people out there, June, the second week in June, you can always or pretty much count on it being warm continuously for the rest of the year, and I'm sticking to that. So, hey, for those of you out there that might be listening from Denver in the IAEC show, International Association of Elevator Consultants, hey, you guys have a great time. Wish I could be there with you, and but unfortunately, just not able to make that conference. So, but yeah, hope you have a great time out there and you enjoy your conference. In terms of other new business, really not much to talk about. We do have a short show today, which works out quite well. However, the articles on the program, very, 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 very important. And the reason why I'll get into later on in the program. But yeah, very good show to have tuned into. There's not a lot of junk out there in terms of what the internet has shared with us this week. And let me just sign into my email account because I didn't get a chance to do that before I went live or semi-live, I guess I should say. So we'll sign in and see if there's any new email. I got a lot of emails. Okay, that's going to expire. Job alerts, lots of residential. Here's a residential elevator for sale. Hey, how many of you out there get these kind of calls from people wanting to either buy or sell like some old elevator that they want to put in their home themselves? You get a lot of those? Yeah, I seem to get a lot of those kind of emails, and for some reason I don't quite know why. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It's a bunch of emails. Okay, that's a different domain name. Yeah. Anyway, not much to really cover on right now in terms of emails, but you can always send your email to elevatorradioshow@gmail.com. And as always, I appreciate you dropping me a note. I don't always share them because many of you out there prefer not to be disclosed in terms of who you are, and I don't do that. So just as a reminder, if you are interested in signing up for the e-newsletter, that is going to go by the wayside. Okay, so emails are not going to go into your inbox. That email list is going to be killed and going to be canceled and going to be shut down completely. The best place for you to go and sign up for the Elevator Radio Show, if you are watching on the video, the YouTube channel, go over at elevatorradioshow.com. There is a link. It says subscribe to blog via email, and then all you have to do is enter your email address to subscribe to this blog and receive notifications of new posts by email. All you have to do is put your email address in there, subscribe. It's going to send you an automatic email asking you to confirm and verify that you are who you are and not some robot. And by doing so, you will get emails or notifications immediately when notes are posted online. For me, it just takes one step out of the equation every Wednesday morning when I have to post and cross-post and do all this crap. Plus, it saves a little bit of funds in terms of the subscription service that I pay for. Not that it's a lot of money. It's kind of a pain. So, and when I look at the emails, literally, I don't get, I send them out in a text format. I used to send them out in a like a linked format so that everybody could kind of link, click on the show notes. The problem with that is that most spam, software programs or firewalls hate to see, anytime they see links or multiple links or more than 3 links, they just send it right into the spam folder. So for the longest time, I was just sending out text type of emails telling people to go to the show, or there's a new show, whatever. So this new way of doing it is going to just make life a lot easier. It's going to give you immediate information as soon as, like I said, information is shared on the website. And that is going to be the new list that we will be sharing, or we will be giving away the prize pack giveaway off of. So make sure you get over there and subscribe if you are interested in earning or winning any of our prize pack giveaways that are typically on our program. So anyway, yeah, let's get right into the show notes in just one moment. Here's our nice little jazzy intro. It's hard to believe we're on show number 364 already. Crazy, isn't it? Crazy. All right, up next we'll get right into the news.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? If not, stay tuned.
Alrighty, I did not have enough coffee today, although it sounds like I did. Okay, first news article. This is huge. This is and look at this image. This article was shared more times online than any of the articles on today's program, and for good reason. DailyNews.com reported a 6-year-old boy gets hand-trapped in escalator at Maryland Mall. 6-year-old boy got his hand caught in an escalator Thursday night at a mall in Maryland. It took over 2 hours for firefighters to free the distressed child from the moving staircase. There's some, apparently the boy's finger somehow got wedged under the handrail at the bottom of the escalator heading down into the Burlington Coat Factory. So what it looks like had happened, and I'm just speculating here, is that the boy was either riding down and then, didn't hold onto the handrail and kind of basically rolled all the way, his hand all the way underneath. Or he was maybe on just playing around the front of it. I don't really know. Here's a good article, and I'm going to play this for everybody. Safety officials say escalator key is safety for parents. Okay, this is a pre-thing. WUSA Channel9.com is going to report on this, and this is really key.
He's recovering today after rescuers in Prince George's County freed his hand from the handrail of an escalator, and we just talked to his mother moments ago.
I was praying the whole time we were there, and God covered him. He was holding on to the escalator rail like I teach him to all the time, and I guess he held on to it for too long, and his hand got caught on the rail in the return, as the rail returns to go back to the top.
We're going to hear from that little guy coming up at 6 o'clock, but this sort of awful accident gives us an opportunity for us to share some safety tips to protect the little fingers and toes that might be attached to your children.
It took rescuers nearly 2.5 hours to free a little boy's hand from an escalator last night at Iverson Mall. Fortunately, the safety device on the handrail worked and the boy is okay.
That's
Grasp
good.
the handrail firmly adjacent to where you are.
But hands aren't the only concern on a moving set of stairs. You need to keep your child's feet protected too. So we went to a place in D.C. that is known for frequent trips up and down every day to talk about safety.
We don't necessarily say do's and don'ts. We just say just be mindful where you're stepping.
Lou Brown is the Assistant Chief Safety Officer for Metro. He takes escalator safety seriously and says you should too.
Step over the cone plate. Keep your feet away from the side rail.
Brown says if you follow this advice, you'll keep loose clothing and shoes from getting caught between the openings in the metal steps and the sides. You need to be especially careful with flip-flops and other soft shoes. And when getting on and off,
Be mindful to not drag your feet going off, stepping over the cone plate, and keep moving. Don't come to a stop after you exit the escalator.
you don't want your child to do this. They should always have a hand on the handrail until they get to the top or the bottom, and then they need to move their hands and feet quickly. And parents should make sure they are holding the other hand.
Take that parenting role seriously. Take the supervision role seriously. And monitor your children, mentor your children on the proper way to use the escalator.
So let's reinforce a few points here. You want to make sure you're never sitting on the steps of an escalator. You don't want to put a stroller on the steps of an escalator. And if you have more than one child traveling with you, consider taking an elevator. And we just can't stress this enough. You heard the mom talking about when the child got to the bottom of the platform, he just didn't get his hand off that handrail quick enough. It got trapped. Most escalators now have a security feature that will stop it from moving if it detects any resistance, a hand, a foot, right? And that kept this incident from being worse. And you know about this because as a small child, the same thing happened to you.
It did. As a matter of fact, you know, honestly, I did it on purpose in a way because I kept my hand on there because I wanted to see where the thing went. I was
Man.
4 years old.
At least he's honest, right?
My hand got stuck. I had to run and stop the
Oh. You know what? This is probably one of the...
escalator. It was a big deal in the Heck Company in Silver Spring. That's how old I am. And I still have a little scar on my finger from when it happened. Did not go to the doctor.
So the difference is, back when that happened to you, the safety devices weren't necessarily on the escalator, so it did not stop. In this case, the safety device did work. That escalator stopped immediately, and it took a while to get the little guy's hand out of there, but again, it could have been much worse.
Man.
Something all of us can learn from.
Good article, good piece on escalator safety. Really good. It could have been a little bit better. Hey, you know, reference more from the EESF, point people in that direction, whatever. It could have gone to that direction. I don't know why media outlets are not able to do that, but really good piece. And you know what? I think the media has to do more of this. So hats off to USA Channel 9 for doing this. I'm certain that a lawsuit will probably most likely still ensue, unfortunately, because that's just the nature of the beast. But yeah, remember, we haven't seen an accident like this in the United States in quite some time. Yeah, so remember, support the ESF, whether it's a silent auction, whether it's a fundraiser they might have coming up, and ensure that you are, doing yourself your part to try to, get that word spread as best that you can. So, yeah, kind of scary for sure. Next article was also an article talking about more from that accident, and that coming from the WashingtonPost.com. So this news article got quite a bit of traction, and the good news is that whatever safety device they're referring to that stopped the accident from being worse is encouraging. So, hats off to the media on this one. You get a thumbs up and an A+ on your coverage in terms of how to ride the elevators or escalators so safely. So, okay, moving on. This is not linked up, unfortunately. There were two workers hurt at a Lancaster County elevator accident. Let me see if I can find that real quick here, because I had that linked up. Bear with me one moment, too. And if you got the Google News alerts, there's a good, you already got this, Lancaster, since we have time. I'm not sure if this is grain elevator or what. Okay, here we go. Apparently, WITF.com talking about in Lancaster, an industrial accident in Lancaster County has left 2 workers hurt. Happened at Kreider Mulch. Apparently, shortly after 1 p.m., officials say the 2 employees were operating a mulch elevator that had a mechanical failure. The accident left 1 man trapped. Ugh. Coworkers used the front end loader to pry open the elevator to get the man out. The man who was trapped was taken to the hospital for serious injuries, but no additional details were released. Ugh. That doesn't sound like a good accident whatsoever. So, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes industrial elevators are not necessarily taken care of the right way in terms of maintenance and operation, and then unfortunately, employees have a tendency in some cases to to overload or overtaxed equipment, whatever it might be. Okay, here's a unboxing video by Diesel Doozy. I'm going to let everybody check that out. Ads are rolling, pre-rolling right now. So Diesel Doozy's got some new products or parts that he received from some of his fans. One is, I think this is a Westinghouse Hall station, which I think is pretty cool. It's got like a triangle and then it's got a button, so pretty slick for sure. Okay, John Fellon has got a some new videos up on his YouTube channel. Elevator Adjuster over at YouTube. This one is on elevator motor commutator frequency tester. I'll let everybody check that out on their own so I don't blast your ears off. So I didn't link all of them up. I didn't want some of those up there. So next article, Geek.com is reporting that Hitachi develops world's fastest elevator, gets to the 95th floor in 43 seconds. You know what? I know that is fast, but don't you think we could make it even faster than that? But anyway, apparently Hitachi's rocket elevator will be installed in the Guangzhou CTF Financial Center located in southern China. It will contain 111 floors, and when it's completed in 2016, but will get to the top, will be a snap. The lift will accelerate smoothly from 0 to 72 kilometers per hour, just 45 miles per hour, in a few seconds. A series of rollers on the side of the lift will even out the ride as the building flexes in the wind. Ugh. I don't like the idea of that. Anyway, Hitachi promises the ride will be comfortable, but perhaps comfortable is a relative term here. So, yeah, I know there's been studies that have been done on, having elevators that are this fast or even faster, and between pressure, and you wonder why, pressure devices or pressurization systems for elevators haven't necessarily been developed yet. I'd be curious to see if that will actually happen as elevators develop and get faster in the future. So, anyway, okay. Nearly 4 years later, after elevators, the installations began at the caverns in Carlsbad. After renovations began on elevators at the Carlsbad National Park, all transportation routes are up and running. So, anyway, apparently the period was plagued with problems. Let's see if we got any pictures of the elevators. 1 year into the renovation, maintenance crews ran into problems installing and treating a 50-center structural beams in the elevator hoistway. Yeah, you want to make sure all that's done right, but unfortunately not always easy to, to find out what all the issues are with it. But 4 years later, they're up and running. So, and that was basically through the National Parks Service. Okay, here's one I don't get. How in the world is this a new, fire response protocol? When was this ever a good idea? Okay, Fire Chief, this is coming from firerescue.com. New NYPD fire response protocol bans elevator use. What in the hell? Since when was... I know I got some firefighters out there, or retired, or consultants. Tell me when police were allowed to use elevators during a fire in a building. I don't remember when that was the case. I know firefighters are trained, or should be trained to do so, but apparently New York Police Department issued a revised protocol that requires stairs to be used at all times while responding to building fires. Responding units must use the stairs. Read the 3-page finest message in which Chief of Department Philip Banks outlines the new fire response procedures. And this is in the daily New York Daily News reports. In message released following the death of police officer Dennis Guerra, who died of injuries suffered after he using an elevator to reach a high-rise fire. Chief Banks has advised officers to walk up and to report fire whenever possible. Yeah, I mean, this is really sad that this wasn't already something that was in effect. But yeah, it's tragedy that Officer Guerra actually passed away due to I would imagine smoke inhalation. It should never have happened. So not good at all. Next article: issues disrupt the use of campus elevators often. The Diamondback.com reporting that at their campus, apparently there are very sensitive pieces of equipment. And despite regular inspections and maintenance, students living in some university dorms said that they frequently find elevators out of order, stuck, or otherwise malfunctioning. Anyway, and it's unfortunately, if an elevator is taken out of service for several days, it is because we are doing maintenance to fix them or providing upgrades. The good news is that most universities and colleges do a pretty good job in making sure their elevators are safe. If for no other reason, to make sure from a liability standpoint that they are safe. So, and that's really important. Next article: blue asterisk on elevator door. I haven't seen too many of these in the past. Let me close this banner ad unless you want to buy a Cadillac. What's the blue asterisk on the elevator door? Come on, how could you ask this question? Doesn't it look like it's something medical? Anyway, this was at a hospital, obviously, and the Intercontinental Mark Hopkins Center. Oh, no, I'm sorry, it's not. It's actually at a hotel. Nob Hill is a legend. Mark Hopkins Jr. What is this? Wait a minute. Let me go down a little bit here. Okay. Yeah, it's the Serpent of Life or whatever. It's the staff and snake for EMS. And basically what it's going to tell you is that the elevator has emergency service on it for elevators. So shouldn't really be concerned to, a normal average person riding the elevator. But I guess, if you're a blogger, you want to find out what's going on, I guess that's a good way of doing it. And then the last news article for this week's program, I told you it was going to be short. Next week is the Chicago Elevator Association. So it's May 1st. It's Thursday. It's hard to believe that it is almost here already. So it will be held at the... where's it going to be held? 2301 Fountain Square Drive. I do not know what restaurant that's at. But anyway, it might be on the calendar events page, but NASA International is going to be there presenting. And if you are holding or have your QEI certification, you would want to, attend that just to make sure you are, basically up to snuff, and look forward to seeing NASA International in Chicago. So make sure you get your RSVPs in for that. And also, as a reminder, July 4th is the Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation Cruise. So make sure you check that out as well. And that's pretty much going to do it for the show, everybody. As always, I want to thank you for joining me today. It has been an absolute pleasure, as some like to say, to bring you the program. As always, be safe out there, practice safety, spread the word on safety, and let's make sure our industry is the best industry out there in the world. Yeah, exactly. Next week is a prize pack giveaway, so make sure you don't miss that show. And other than that, think spring. Let's see if we can get some temperatures over 40 degrees, 50 degrees for a while. But thank goodness the snow is gone, at least in the Midwest area. I don't think the snow is gone in Canada, and I'm sorry for that. All right, everybody, have a great rest of the week. Again, be safe out there, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.